It's a good day for you, I'm sure. Congratulations for a good and resounding win. Members of the media, thank you for joining us. We start right away. We'll take around 12 minutes to conclude the conference, starting with your comment of what you saw, 90 minutes plus 4 added minutes.
Good evening to everyone. First, I think we started the game quite well. Our pressing scheme that we thought might help us to make it difficult for them to build from the back and force them into a long ball. I think that worked very well. We created a lot of good situations from our high press. They forced in some instances and we managed to steal some balls, but I was not happy that we did not capitalize on those situations. I think our game plan on the day was very good, and I would like to thank my fellow coaches, my analysts, and everybody that is surrounding the team. I think it was a very good plan and it came out the right way. The only thing that I would still feel uncomfortable about is I think we could have scored a lot of goals. And personally, I am that kind of a coach who fell in love with football because of goals. I like a team that scores more. And I think we messed around a lot of good situations. We were unfortunate in some instances. I think Lucas was unfortunate on 2 occasions. And there were some silly mistakes in the final third that we did. But nonetheless, it was a good performance. And we knew we were playing against a big team. We were not playing against a small team. We knew it's not going to always favor us. They will have their moments. But I think we tried to minimize their moments as much as we could, which gave us a little bit of an upper hand. But overall, I think it was a good game of football.
Thank you, Coach. If you're able to move a little forward a little bit. Oh, it's closed. Thank you very much. Rovi, mics are ready. Members of the media, your name of your media house, and question, and we move. This one, Mark.
Good evening, sir. Mark Lisa from Supersport. You've had some big fat cup success in your time. I can think of 6 goals at Orlando Stadium, maybe more than a decade ago now. How does this rank for you in terms of finest nights as a coach?
To be honest, I'm not thinking it was one of those matches that you would say it's a cutting edge in terms of the resistance that we got. I don't think the resistance was as strong as we thought. And it will fool you sometimes when you create so many chances from situations that under normal circumstances you would not create a lot of chances. I think the level of the game did not reach my expectations, and I'm a very unhappy person because I think we could have done better. I think we committed a lot of silly mistakes when we could have just terminated the attack and maybe pass someone to finish with an open net. And sometimes we are anxious, we want to try and score ourselves. So I would not rank this match very high in terms of the quality of football that was played. I'm just happy that the team dominated the game, but I expected a little bit more.
Let's go for it.
What did you see in Jabulo Blom and Zwan? Because I think most of the pressing looked like it was mostly targeted in that area, and you won, I think, many balls that then advanced you quicker into the final. What was the plan with the two? Was it something that was targeted, or it just happened?
You will forgive me, Maskepe, because sometimes some questions then expose the shortcomings of the opponent, and it's unfair because now you are telling the next opponent what to do. But we planned to have a high press, and we planned to shadow defend their midfielders for some reasons that we thought will benefit us a little bit. And I think that worked, but I wouldn't want to elaborate further on what exactly that we identified on probably all the midfielders they have now, with the exception of Castillo, whom we knew he was injured.
Thank you. There's a question at the back.
Hi, Coach.
Go for it.
Hi, Coach. Mickey Jr. here from CAF and also from Ghana. We want to find out how did you turn things around for Peter Shalulile? Because many of us were, a bit worried when the goals were not coming. As one of your leading marksman, key player in the side. We were just, wondering how did you manage to turn things around for him now? A hat-trick in the previous game, a goal today, the form is there. How did you do it?
I wouldn't want to take credit for his turnaround, because I think first it starts from him. He's one of the best professionals I've ever worked with. He's one of the hardest working players that I've ever worked with, and laser sharp in terms of focus in everything that he does as a professional. And that is probably what made almost everyone within the team, the coaching staff, the support staff, everyone within the club was always wishing Peter the best of luck, because we were dealing with a case here of somebody that does everything that you want from a professional footballer. And that focus made everybody to always pour positive energy towards him, that it will come. The least that we did as coaches was not to lose faith in him, but to always try and play him in some matches where we're playing maybe inferior opponents. We try to play him because we want him to break this curse, and fortunately he managed to go through. But I wouldn't want to steal the fame and create an impression that I did anything extraordinary to help him. I think it was a group collective, but it starts from the person that he is, because everybody could not help but wish Peter all the best. And I'm sure all of us were also keeping him in our prayers to make sure that he comes back.
Karabo?
Thank you very much, Karabo. Your coach, Coach, through the Rexin era, I think going back to Coach Peter Msimani, Coach Rulani, yourself now, there's a certain level of relentlessness, when you smell a bit of blood from your position, continuing to score goals. How do you inculcate that, into new generations, new players when they come in, you do that? And how do you instill that sort of mentality that when you see that the team here is down, you continue, going for more goals?
I wouldn't really want to say much about how Peter would do it, how Rulani would do it, but personally, as a coach, I've always enjoyed to have teams that score a lot of goals. I think I still have a lot of records even in the amateur football, where my top goal scorer probably was at 57 goals, because I'm the type of a coach that wants my team to score. And the relentlessness that you seem to be applauding at the moment, I'm very unhappy with the number of goals we scored today, because I think we could have scored a lot of goals. And it's important when you've got that opportunity to do that, because Bayern does it and Leverkusen does it when there's a chance, and the same Sundowns could score 24 goals. So we should always use that as the benchmarks that are there, that are already there, to try and always better them. So I was very unhappy. You may say we were relentless, but I think we were not on the cutting edge. We were not playing for a goal all the time. There were moments where I felt we were playing for fun, and I was very unhappy with that.
Good evening, Coach. Congratulations on the emphatic victory. I'm just looking at, last week, Sunday, it was a different ball game altogether, but how you've responded midweek and now also in this game. Would you say you are also welcoming how the team is picking up, especially if you look as from the end of this month, you're also starting CAF Champions League group stages, which is also a very difficult group as well. And also a word on your internationals, because I just look at your starting lineup today, almost an international field starting lineup.
We wanted to pick around this time. We did not want to arrive at this time with most of these players having a lot of games at their back, and we are very excited that most of these players have been rotated a lot and they have not really had so much load in their legs. So we are hoping we will be able to sustain these football actions, which is why I was demanding a little bit more consistency from how we approached the game after we scored the first 3 goals, because I saw we are going back to being sluggish and slow and playing just to kill time. But it is impressive to see most of our players really showing the quality that they are showing, and we are hoping that will help us, because we are arriving at a stage where we really wanted to have most of our players not having played that much. And with regard to last Sunday's performance, honestly, it's those things in football that you cannot explain, because the same team that played like that is a team that we thought was on the very good space, because it's a team that had played and scored 5 goals against Colonels. And it was sad on the day to see our team very sluggish, very slow, and with very poor football actions. But we came back. We knew we've got a team that can do the job when we need it. And we also believe the players that got an opportunity that day can still do a job for us. Most of them are our top players. It was just unfortunate on the day we were not very sharp. Thank you very much.
We give the coach to hear the nose, and we getting the mic ready. You can go for it. The coach can hear. Go ahead, Tapan. The coach will hear.
How influential do you think Batusi Obas can be this season? I think since he arrived, he struggled with injury last season. Maybe didn't find his rhythm. But how influential do you think he can be? I looked at him today, watched him as well against Cape Town City the other day, had good games.
We brought him to Sundowns because he's got very rare physical attributes. For a player of his height to have the kind of intensity that he has, the speed that he has, the engine that he has, we've always believed we can get a little bit more from him. I'm just excited to see him performing the way he does, because even in the game that we were playing in Polokwane, knowing very well that he had not been playing and he was training very well. But I talked to him and I told him, I do not want to play you in this match, because I would prefer to see you in the Cape Town City game, because that game will require a lot of intensity, and I know your aggression can help us. And because he's such a very good football player, he's such a good human being as well, he was open to that and said, no, coach, I know you will use me when the time is right. And when he plays the way he plays, I think he complements Debza very well. They form a very formidable partnership in the central midfield, and you still have a Marcelo, you still have a Neo, you still have a Mkulisi, you still have a Lebu in that space. So it makes you feel you are most likely to have a very good midfield at any given stage. But his physical attributes, I think they are something to admire. It's very rare.
We're going to take the last two at the same time and see if we're able to get the coach answering them. Let's start with
Coach Lorenzo with the Speed Times. The matches that you guys lost this season, Polokwane established twice, and also the first Indian game against Polokwane. Now you said you didn't struggle, but it wasn't a pretty game, for example. All those games are on Williams there. But is it just a coincidence, or is there something about him that just elevates the entire team?
go for it, coach.
Yeah, it's a tough one, because we know his quality, but I also think Dennis had a very good game in the Polokwane City game where he got a red card. And Jordi had some sterling saves in the games that he played against Stellies, but Ronwin is Ronwin, and probably not just the playing side. I think he's also a very good leader within the group. And we appreciate it when he does the way he does things. But I wouldn't want to nullify the contribution of the other keepers because I think they played very well. We made a lot of mistakes from inside, from the infield players. There is no game where you can say this goal was scored because the goalkeeper was not of the best quality. But it was merely poor defensive actions and we got punished.
Last one, Tema.
Joseph from Sports. Congratulations on your result. In one of your interviews, you said it with a smile that you hope Kaizer Chiefs play these young, exciting players against Sundowns, and that was before the previous match, and you happened to win that match. Was it the same thought that you had going into this match, looking at how you actually, had them pinned against the wall, defending from the top, confrontation from, their box and all of that? How did you actually make it a point that you come to the full FNB stadium and take over proceedings from the first whistle? And is the Carling Cup there for the taking now that Cape Town City is out and Richards Bay took the next step and advanced today? Would you say it's there for the taking for Sundowns?
Okay, let me start on the first question. I think the first question, I don't want to sound bad, but I think the youngsters that Kaizer Chiefs has brought into their first team are very good young boys. Very good young boys. That Shalulile is a big factor in the game. And he also got some very good moments today. Duba played exceptionally well. I believe this is the feeling I have when I look at these boys. Villarreal, when he's given a chance, they are all very good football players. But the biggest mistake that you can make with players like those is to put the load of a team as big as Kaizer Chiefs on their shoulders. But honestly speaking, I think those are exceptionally gifted players. I would love to have them in my team as well. I don't want to lie to you. So I wouldn't want now to look like, because maybe the people who we target, we don't target youngsters, we target more senior players because we know some of the shortcomings they would have. But these youngsters, I don't want to lie to you, they are all very impressive. All very impressive. And I know the coach probably is forced to play them because they are the best players that they have at the moment. It's just that my fear is if the load and the pressure is on their shoulders, it might probably break some of them down. But I'm still very impressed with how the coach and the team has really played these boys because I think they are very influential. In almost all the good results that Chiefs got, a youngster was involved.
The last one, the cup taking.
I never want to look at a cup competition and to go ahead of myself. I'm that type of a person that believes as a team we should always fight to win the next match and the next match and the next match. If we win more matches, we are most likely to win more trophies. But as to think this one is for the taking or not, it's never what I do. I always look at the next opposition and try and find solutions that can help us to win that match and stay focused to the next one and the next one without getting ahead of myself.
Mamelodi Sundowns, Coach Manqoba Mngqithi, congratulations, all the best going into the head tomorrow. Thank you. Great pleasure upon anyone.